Hi, and good afternoon, and welcome to Studio Central's Friday art demonstration. I'm just gonna take my mask off here. So we're here every Friday at Upbeat Artworks. We do a live demonstration. If you're not familiar, Kate, one of our alumni, she leads us through this workshop. But before we get into it, and before I talk about what we're doing today, I just want to give just a little bit of an overview about who we are as an organization. So if you're not familiar, we are a not-for-profit registered charity, and Artbeat Studio really believes in the healing power of art. We believe in building and cultivating a creative community, and we really think that creativity and art is very centering and is just a beautiful form of self-expression. And I think that self-expression is such a meaningful way through mental health healing. So we're just thankful to provide a space, provide a community, and to see so many talented people around us. This whole organization would not be possible without the help of our volunteers and our alumni and the people who really believe in this programming. So we want to come here on Fridays and do a little live art demonstration, bring a little bit of creativity into your life. I know we've all maybe had a busy week. It's been warm, it's been cold. I'm not sure what spring wants to do right now, but we're inside, we're cozy, and we're gonna do some art today. So I will say we are gonna be doing watercolor and watercolor mixed media. So I'm not too sure what we're doing, and this is the fun of it. I'm gonna sit down with Kate and she'll take us through this. So I'm gonna just flip the camera around. Hi, Kate.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, considering that I had my ups and downs. My goal is to not just relax by myself, but help others if there's need. But also it's showing the technique by itself, simplicity of the technique, and how it can be combined with other mediums. I do have watercolors here. These two are borrowed from Studio Central, and what I like in this set that they have the tan and the brown.
Nice.
So just being happy about that, I have the teddy bear image here.
Nice.
Not
Good.
sure if we're going by this image or something else, but I just got it because I wanted to try it with this. And also I brought my own watercolor, and that was a part of the kit thanks to Victoria Hospital.
Yeah, right on.
The kit that we were receiving last year, I think, and
Yeah.
this is what I have. I got some purple which does not exist anymore in the other sets.
Oh yeah, it's been, so
Was
this is
used up.
that's the first set we're gonna be working with.
I ran out of yellow and orange.
Yeah.
But I do have other colors, so we could combine different browns for the teddy bear, and this brown is darker. So we basically have 3 different browns and black, but also that depends what and how we're going to paint.
Cool.
And the same thing, we can go 2 times with the same color and it will be darker. So we can do shading in a different variation.
Yeah.
Okay, what I got here is either creative cards from Artist Emporium, envelope and a card.
Let's see this. So this actually works as watercolor paper.
Well, it's not actually watercolor paper, but my hopes that it is good enough.
But it's definitely, it's a heavier paper, like it's got,
Well,
it's got some good weight
if
to it.
I'm not sure in which paper it is, I'm just not using brush strokes like that.
Yeah.
I am going with spots and dots rather than spreading it so the paper does not rip.
Right, right.
So this is one of the solutions. But also I have canvas paper from Artist Emporium, so we could choose either or. So your choice.
I'll try working on a card. Ooh, this feels nice.
Alrighty. So one card for you. So this is the card, this is
Okay.
the envelope.
Thank you.
And I'm going to work on canvas paper
Okay,
then.
sounds good.
Because I want to show more than one variant and how these cards, I cannot tell if they're really, my thinking is that they're not perfect for watercolors. So we'll try to avoid
Yeah.
brush strokes that can rip paper, and we'll go with more water, thicker spots or dots. And I'll show what I mean by dots and spots, because
Okay.
it's not the same from artist to artist. Got brushes, different sizes. Got acrylic, a little tiny bit of acrylic black paint, but might not even use it today because we got a paint marker. One paint marker is Artistro. It's not a new one, so whoever is using it, it's a little bit harder to operate. We got Uni Posca. This is the extra
Yep.
small. This is white jelly roll pen, 08. Glass markers.
Nice.
These are really comfortable to
Yeah.
use. And Juilliard acrylic paint pens.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, that's great.
I did not forget the tape today. So we do not have to rip the card or something like that by using the masking tape. And I got Mod Podge, which can go on top. And it doesn't mean that it's used as a sealer, that is a top sealer, and it can be used as a sealer and protector and making the look thicker when it's needed, depending on what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
But also it can be sprayed afterwards, or use just a brush on varnish on top.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it can still be sticky for some time. So if we use Mod Podge, we use it for building up, for texture, for smoother look, for all kind of things. To protect, yes, to protect the paper when it has color, but also it needs to have some brush and sealer on top to be protected as well.
I've used Mod Podge before when I've done collages, and I've got on the paper, but then I end up painting over the collage, and you get like a nice, that finish is so nice.
Yeah, and it's always good to put something on top of it, like the sealer that actually protects the whole layer and removes stickiness, because Mod Podge can stay sticky for quite a long time, to not make it stick to other things. So yeah, and also I do have wet wipes. It's something that I cannot work without nowadays, because after working with each color, I wipe the brush so it does not stay too watery. In this case, it can go in water, but also this is water that I bring from home. And I will bring a couple of containers.
Sweet. So while we're doing this sort of prep here, I'll just let you know, if you have any questions or any comments that you'd like to share, put them in the comments below. We try to keep up with them while we're doing our lives, but if we miss them now, we always check back and can answer them at a later time. So we're always thankful for any kind of questions or comments we get. So yeah, thanks for watching along so far.
Okay, so I will just show a little tiny bit of, okay, I need to remember what the front is, what the back is in this, because the front is actually darker and the back is lighter. Alright, so we need some water.
Yep. We're well on our way to getting a sink at Studio Central, so it'll be very nice once we do.
And I've seen the post about that Art Beach is welcoming donations, because we are gathering money for water tank.
Yeah, that's a really good initiative. So check it out. We drew it somewhere on our website. There's a link to it.
Okay, so I think this is something that we need to do.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing it because I want to show a little couple things on the back, so I can start with.
But I'll do mine.
Yeah. So I'll take any brush.
And this is good. I'm taping my piece down right now. I think you can see it. And this just helps. Well, you can kind of see it. It actually helps to keep the paper from slipping around.
So what I want to do here is to try several colors. So I will try this brown first. So this is what I do when I say dot. It's a dot. But for a spot, this is what I mean where I say a spot. So it's not a dot looking like anything because it's a shape, right? Or no shape, but it's just bigger and it's not the same. So this would be dot. And this would be a spot. So here's the, just to make sure what I mean by that. So the dots and the spots.
That sounds like a Dr. Seuss. Yeah,
No,
that's good.
just to show that there is a difference in size and there is a difference in how much water and paint goes on it.
Okay, so you can see here, I've got my sides taped down, and I'm going to...
Okay, so we can always start with drawing, but we have a choice. Either we want to start painting,
Yeah.
or we could draw first and then paint
Oh.
the inside.
Hey, hi Kevin. Right on.
Okay, so I'm just trying different colors. I want to start them.
So for people watching at home, we have we're actually in Upbeat Artworks right now, which is our art gallery, but it's kind of like a fishbowl because behind the camera it's just a big window, and we currently have the door closed, so people are someone we know, an alumni, popped in and just waved at us. So it's fun.
And this is the set I bought. I just want to try and start my brown.
Yeah, that looks nice and dirty. Cute. If you haven't worked with watercolors, what I really like about them is the way the colors will bleed together.
Mm-hmm.
Like just what you did there. It's really neat. Watercolor is such a, you have to expect the unexpected when you work with watercolors, you know?
So again, dots and spots for the show.
Nice. Beautiful. So you can see how liquidy it still is.
Okay, so I will be, okay, I can just put it upside down, or I can take another canvas paper until this dries. Okay, now I have a tree.
Cool.
Just look at that.
Yeah.
It's a tree.
That's actually, yeah, it does.
Okay. And I will be taping mine too.
Okay.
Even though I like rotating it, but in this case I don't have to.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's nice. I kind of like, I like when you tape a canvas or tape canvas paper down, because it just gives you a bit of stability when you're working on a piece. You know.
Doesn't help much, but I need a longer.
Oh yeah, the tape's kind of sensitive.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna tape my side like that too.
It's my preference because I want to leave it like a border. Or
Yeah, I was gonna say you create like an actual. So not only does the tape hold down your paper and give you a bit of stability, it's creating a border for your photo or for your painting.
There.
Yeah, nice.
want to start with just watercolor, or do I want to, I can draw with black here, but again, I want to test something here. So making an image, something. This is a glass marker.
Ooh.
And I want to see if that bleeds in watercolor or not.
Yep.
I would assume it might do it. That's why I want to try before.
Yep.
And then I will. Yes, it does a little bit, but not significantly. It actually does not.
Nice.
It stops at the very edge. Just look at that. There's no, it's a tiny little bit that I've seen, but it's not, just because I did not dry it well enough, but it actually is good to draw a bear with.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the choice for our bear could be either paint it, draw it with something beforehand
Okay.
and fill it in, or start painting directly with watercolor. So what's your?
I think I'll do an outline
Mhm.
and then paint in that outline.
Okay, so for the outline, we have a choice
Okay.
of, this Posca, a glass marker, artistro, acrylic paint.
Mm.
White does not really work with this one. So let's say I would remove the jelly roll here because it's good for highlights afterwards.
Yeah.
It's great to draw on top of watercolor
Mm.
and make highlights, but not for this stage yet. So here's the choice.
I think maybe I'll try the Posca.
Yeah. And also we have this one, so I can take out the browns for you. So if you want to try, you can try
Yeah.
these browns as well.
So I think I want paint
Because
it
you
in
can
use
draw
the
it
browns
with
to-
brown instead
Yeah.
of black, because it's a brown. Oh, we can try. No, there are all
What are
the
you gonna do?
options. I'm thinking I could use a brown, or I could just start directly with watercolor. So I would say just paint it with watercolor.
Cool.
So I'm taking the darkest brown.
Setting up we got a reference photo here.
Yeah. Oops. There.
Can I use this as a scrap? Or not a scrap, but just.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the back. It's not the front. So I can always paint over it or just leave it this. It won't be even visible because if I frame it, it will be in the back.
So the kind of cool thing I like about this, approaching this picture the way we are, is it makes you, it's not just painting like I'm trying to draw right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it really teaches you to flex some skills you may not have. You use it as often as you do, so, because I'm not a drawer. But I love the effect that you get when you have create the distinct outline of something and you paint in it.
It's easier to draw it first. For the majority of people, it's easier to draw and then color, I'd say, or paint. It doesn't make a difference when you see the result. There are a variety of ways, and what matters is how many combinations have you tried? Because if you go with one preferred choice, it doesn't mean that you don't try other things. So you can try several different directions of thinking. But it's basically it's one path, many choices to make, and if you don't try, you don't know. So it's always appreciated when you try and see for yourself if it works for you or not. And what it means, because for myself, it's something that is very satisfying because it's not same thing that I was doing in the beginning. I was just drawing and basically coloring rather than painting all the, all these little details. Everything was done with a pen or a pencil, and then basically applying some layers, right, on top, different colors. So it's a different technique. Painting like this is more of a different task.
Yeah. That's common.
And what I'm talking about is what I was doing before I got acquainted to Art Program and Studio Central. I was not really painting. It was mostly drawing what I was doing. So I was not saying I was painting.
I forget, were you involved with Studio Central before you started the Art Beat program?
Yes. So my first thing to do was to get acquainted to Studio Central, to come participate in workshops. I started volunteering and I had my own show before I started Art Beat program.
Oh, nice. Okay, and I'm going to begin working on putting the color in. Yeah, it looks good. Is this dark? Is this brown fairly dark? That's fairly dark, eh?
Yeah, this one is the darkest.
I also like when you work on the same reference photo with another person, and then you both kind of get different results.
So this one is a different medium too. This is canvas paper textured finish, and you see what watercolor does on it. It's not for watercolor. It goes in those little spots. So if you don't see it in the beginning, it kind of goes inside. So you need to really feel it so it stays there. But this process might be interesting too, to some. So just basically add more and more until it stays.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see it does not smudge at all.
That's great. Because a lot of markers will end up smudging.
That's why I recommend glass markers for a lot of things, because they dry quickly and they do not smudge when you paint on them or draw something, a color.
Do you think would a paint marker, would that be more apt to smudge?
That depends, mostly not, and it needs to dry, but that depends on what you put in it.
Yeah.
And how.
True. Yeah.
If you do not like this effect, do not take the textured finish, but I'm actually enjoying that. Because you see what it does?
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so this, in case if you pre-spray paper, you put some kind of finishing spray on paper, and that's what it will do. I actually like it because how do people come to this conclusion?
Yeah.
You spray canvas and then you come back with watercolor on top, and that's what it will do.
Yeah.
And I was doing it for a nice finish, to make it more interesting, let's say.
Yeah.
And it was not on even canvas, I think. It could be a small canvas or a rock.
Yeah.
Could be a rock that I sprayed and then went on top. And I just like this effect for some paintings, not for all of them.
Yeah.
There is another solution. We got Mod Podge. So I could always
Oh.
put some Mod Podge first.
Yeah. Does that work? Like, yeah.
So let's see.
Interesting. Oh, I see what you're
I
doing.
will put Mod Podge.
Cool.
And then I'd apply. Here, you see it just spreads out easily.
Yeah. And I would say like this is a great example. What Kate's talking about today, or what we're doing is we're working with watercolor, but it really is there's a mixed media component to this because we're not like Kate's not limiting herself to watercolor must be this. You know, it's playing with the idea of Mod Podge and mixing the two, using a different paper. It's just a really don't be scared to experiment.
So here I'm putting Mod Podge and it just spreads it out in a completely different way.
How do you like that effect?
I like both.
And what mine I'm working on right now, so like Kate, you're doing all of this, the mixed media components, and what I'm doing is very traditional. It's very much just watercolor, just politely going onto the paper.
And what I'm thinking of doing, I'm going to leave this in the rock garden for someone to enjoy.
Oh, nice.
Someone might really need, you know, a hug.
Yeah.
And then that would be something to brighten someone's day.
Yeah. Yeah. At Studio Central, which is located here in Portage Place, we have something called the Kindness Garden, and it's just a space, a little small space that there's rocks that are painted, and you can take one, you can give one, but all the rocks are just made with love, and they have nice things on them, and it's just a cool way to like have art and take it with you.
And one of our artists was making cards for International Women's Day,
Oh, nice.
and they were in the garden too.
Cool.
So you see, if I take Mod Podge, it just does not, it removes the effect immediately. And again, whatever relaxes you might not relax someone else, unless they have a habit of doing things like that. But here's what I like doing. And our main goal is relaxation.
Yeah.
So I do not do anything that would make me feel like I paint for a different result.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, you always want, art is a very grounding thing. It's just a good way to make you feel, to de-stress. It's a good distraction sometimes, you know?
So the first layer looks like this, and then we could add dots and spots when it's dry already, so we can create more of a shading, something. Doesn't have to be shady, could be detail.
Wow, so cute.
So I will go with Mod Podge over here. And then colors can be any colors. You don't have to make a, like some would make a Ukraine support chart. I do not know what everyone's going through right now, so I would just paint a simple heart, and whoever needs it will get it.
Yeah, yeah. Pick a right brush. But what color should I make my hearts?
Up to you. Orange. Red. And there are
Actually,
two different pinks. You can try both. I want to try this one. It's actually similar to this.
Oh, I like that. It's like a very red, it's pink, but it's like a deep pink.
Mm-hmm. So when this dries, we can make details with whatever we got here. We got the white pen that can go for lines and cross-hatching. Could be cross-hatching, could be just a detail on simply just the stitches or something that you can see over there. And then going around could be just colors that we got here, or you could just leave it plain, but I will go with some colors while it's drying.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling my heart completely because I still got lots of browns that are not dry, so I will just take a thicker brush and we'll go around. Nice greens. So this is basically Mod Podge and green right here.
Oh, nice. For the background. Yes.
Lynn was talking about that effect, about this paper. And you know, when I paint, I do not really think about what I used and how I did that. I do not put into any verbal equivalent. So this is what Lynn can do. Because for myself, I just do something, I don't even remember what I did sometimes. Did I use Mod Podge? Did not I use Mod? I don't know.
Sometimes I look at a painting
It's
I've
like-
done and I'm like, how did I do that? Like, did I do that? That's funny.
I do not paint with watercolor too often, so what I was doing was a long time ago, and now it's like coming back to something, but it's not that I was considering it my medium. I was doing it at Studio Central during workshops that were there at that time.
color did you use to get that purpley?
I think this purple.
Oh, purple, yeah.
I guess so.
What color did you use to get the purple, Kate? The purple? That's why Kate's the teacher, and
Well, I'm not saying, I'm really focused right now. When you produce art, you're focused on the art, but not on actually conversation. And here's the orange.
the colors you get from this watercolor pack are really nice.
Mm-hmm. And there is another orange right here, so I want to compare. It's actually really nice orange too. And there is lots of hair in it. Someone was bringing a cat here. I don't have like. Mm-hmm. And there are two different yellows, which is nice too. So I can pour Mod Podge here for you so you can try it with Mod Podge too. Take some Mod Podge and try. Might be really using it. So here I'm basically finishing it up with Mod Podge, going around the pear to not take too much paint and so sure that during a workshop, it's not, at home I would leave it for like 20 minutes and come down. And what I'm doing here, we close the store. I don't want to keep the store closed for a long time. So I want to show the technique, but I'm not saying repeat what I'm doing, because what I'm doing is workshop time. It's not being at home and painting at home.
Adding the Mod Podge is a really neat effect. It's really
and this is Mod Podge gloss, because basically I tried it many times and I like the gloss more rather than matte one. I like gloss.
Yeah, I like a nice gloss finish.
And then whatever detail is left over, I can always add and remove. But right now I cannot put shading because it's not dry yet. So what I can do is to remove some brown from around. I can take this too, or I could use the brush. I don't know, I kind of think brush is easier in this case. With me, I like adding a lot of water. So in my case, that would be waiting for some time and coming back rather than painting. Like some artists can paint and put a little tiny bit of water and just go on. With me, I would just wait until it dries.
I will say one of the nice things about watercolors, it does, I feel like it dries faster.
It dries fast if you don't put as much water as me.
Yeah.
I'm literally pouring it, but I just like working with spots like this. Like I put a spot, and here it dries for some time, for a long time.
Yeah.
And this type of work can be really relaxing. That's why when you put lots of water, it's more relaxing rather than when you just... And there is Mod Podge visible too.
Yeah, like watercolor, you get that really cool free flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you put the, when you have a lot of water on, it's like where I said earlier, like if working with watercolor, you have to expect the unexpected. Like when you work with acrylic, you have a bit more control, whereas like with watercolor, if you load up your brush with a lot of water, you put that color on your paper, it's gonna spread, it's gonna, you know, maybe blend with another color. It's a lot of...
And it's what many people like in watercolor. It actually goes out of a frame sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's also a natural process which you can trust. Or do you trust the process? If you don't trust it, why do you paint? Maybe it's something that does not work out. So maybe it's easier to go with the flow, or is it easier for many people to go with the flow?
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone can. Some greens. So my bear is nothing like the cute bears that someone else would make, or what I would make when I got more time, right? But this is something that I'm letting dry, coming back with outline, if I want the outline, some white pen, and it will look presentable.
Yeah. Looks cute now, I like it.
But right now I just want to take the tape off and let it dry. And then I could always come back. And why I call it mixed media, because it's mixed media. I want to add some other material, medium. And you see I added lots of water so I can work on the edges too. So I can do the edges quickly. And it's not acrylic, it goes underneath. But at least it doesn't move while you paint, because it can create a problem. And then I could just quickly go with some color of choice. Blue.
For the borders? Oh, nice.
Yeah, and also Mod Podge.
Yeah.
This way it will nice border. And I'm not thinking about the back now. Okay, something like that.
Cute.
And then I'm just going to outline it and to add all the rest. The detail can be done with watercolor if you want shading. But the outline can be just simply whatever materials you got here. And some highlights. So I'd say I'm done and I'm not doing anything special here at all.
Well, I think
Just relaxation.
Kate had said she'll be waiting. We're going to let these dry because mine's actually quite wet too, so I need mine to dry before I can do some more details on the heart. But we will end up, when we're done this, we post pictures of the end result. So we'll post pictures when we're dry and we have more details on them, so have a look for those. But I think I'm going to take my tape off. See how it worked on this paper.
And again, there is a difference in paper and there is a difference in how much water you put. I put lots of water, so in my case it always goes underneath. And James does not put too much water, so it
Goes
stays
under a little bit.
a little bit, but it's not much, and you can always outline it with something if you want.
Yeah. Cool. Nice.
And then you can put Mod Podge on top again, like in a layer.
Yeah, when it dries.
So it would be looking, it's protection unless you want to put brush concealer.
Right. Lisa just said, "This is a lovely tutorial. Thank you kindly for sharing."
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Lisa. So I guess we'll wrap it up then.
And we're opening the store.
Yeah.
And letting people in.
There's a lineup out the door. You have to come check us out. But I'll just do my little outro. All right, so that is our Friday art demonstration brought to you by Studio Central, live from Upbeat Artworks, located in Portage Place Shopping Center. So you saw us doing a little bit of creative work, working with some watercolors, throwing some Mod Podge in there, using different mediums to put it onto different types of paper, and you can really see the difference. Playing with those different mediums can create with the art. So as I said before, I think it's great to experiment with your work. Don't feel confined by watercolor to think, oh, it's a brush, it's specifically this palette and specifically this paper. Try to throw something a little bit different into it, and just don't be scared to do things that can be fun and maybe very different, because you may get a really cool result that you hadn't expected. So we're so grateful that you could join us today. Thankful to be here and to continue fostering and bringing people together for creative outlets and our artistic community. So I know it's Friday. I'll just flip it back to Kate. Can do a little goodbye. Hi, Kate.
Thanks for watching. And the bird has another layer of brown now. If you want to see, he got darker.
Nice.
But it's going to be layers and layers for me, because I just like working with layers, probably.
Awesome.
One layer is never enough.
No.
So enjoy your time. Take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Meditation does not work for everyone the same way. Painting does work wonders.
Right on. Thank you, Kate. Happy Friday, everyone.